Hello students. Today we'll continue with the same unit that is about descriptive statistics. Area of concern on which we are going to discuss are we'll see what exactly hypothesis testing is. Then we'll discuss about the regression and then we'll continue with the topic covariance, what exactly covariance is and why it is used. We'll start with the basic concept of hypothesis testing. What exactly hypothesis testing is? It is basically done to conduct in order to determine whether there is enough evidence to infer that a certain condition is holding true for a entire population or not. Now, basically, hypothesis testing is done when we need to identify, when we need to find the sample on which we are performing any kind of analysis. That sample is belonging to the same population of which we are assuming or not. In short term, we are just calculating whether the sample is belonging to the same population or not. Sometimes it happens that we may have a variety of population and a number of samples, and it may happens that sample on which we are performing any kind of test that is not actually of that particular population, or we may have maybe working on a wrong sample. So that is need to be tested and need to be verified. So for that case we need to do hypothesis testing. Now, this would be a more clear to you with this concept, with this simple example. In this example, I am taking the example of four school kids who are Nick, John, Bob, and Harry, as shown in figure. Now, what happened? All four of them were friends, and one day they were just bunking the class. And while they was bunking the class, they were caught by the principal. So when they were caught by the principal, they were got as a punishment. They got they uh, as a punishment they were given the task of completing cleaning the classroom. So every day they used to stay in the class and they used to clean the classroom. So what happened? They did the same task almost for 8 days, and John then came up with this idea. What John says that why we should all wait for the for doing a single task that could be done by a single person. So what happened? John just gave this idea to all his friends. He just told that we can do one thing. We can just pick a chit from a ball, and we'll write the name of all the four persons, and four chits will be put in a ball, and daily we will pick one chit from the bowl, and whoever name is called or whoever name is picked, that person will wait after the school, and that person is only going to clean the room, and all the remaining three will go home. So this was the idea given by the John. So in this way, what happened? All the remaining three students get agreed. So they just started doing this activity daily. They used to pick one name, and whoever name was called, that person should was used to wait after the school. So in this case, this is just an example. So in this case, what we are doing, we need to calculate the probability of John not cheating. Why? Because in this case the idea is given by the John. So it may happen that since the idea is given by the John, then it may happen that there may be a probability of cheating or any kind of partiality that may occur. So in this case, we need to calculate the probability of John not cheating. So in this, whenever we need to do hypothesis testing, the very first step is we need to assume a particular situation, that whether the condition is in favor or in against. So in this case we are assuming that the event is completely random. Now what does it mean completely random? Completely random means, in this case we are considering the example that it was the first day of the event, same concept, and John name was not called, Bob name was picked. So what Bob did, Bob uh, cleaned all the room. And second day what happened? Harry name was picked. Third day, Nick name was picked. Again on fourth day, Bob name was picked. So it was continuous fourth day, and John name was not picked. So everybody were in dilemma. They just thought that, is it that John is cheating? Is there any probability? Is there any possibility that John is cheating? So they all three of them just started discussing about this, and they just came out with the idea, why not to do a type of testing in this case and just find out what is the probability of John is cheating. So in this case, we will be doing a hypothesis testing, but in which we will test the probability of John not cheating. So before starting the hypothesis testing, what we are doing, we are assuming that the one thing we are assuming is that the event is completely random. That is, it is by chance it is the thing that John's name is not picked. And second, it is free of bias. Now, free of bias in this case means that John is not cheating and uh, his name is not picked. It is his luck that his name is not picked. So this is a kind of assumption we are making while doing hypothesis testing, which we need to make in every case. Whenever we are doing hypothesis testing, we need to make some kind of assumptions before hypothesis testing. So these are the two assumptions we are making. First assumption is that the event is completely random, and second is it is free of bias. Now, what is the probability of John not cheating? So in this case, we need to find the probability of John not cheating. We'll start with this first day. So if we consider the probability of John not picked for a single day, will be 3 out of 4. Why? Because to 4 is that since there are 4 students or 4 friends, so total will be outcome will be 4. 3 is because probability of John not picked for a single day will be 3, because there are 3 other persons whose name can be picked. So if we talk about the probability of John not picked for a single day, it will be 3 out of 4, which is equal to 75%. Now, when we talk about probability of John not picked for continuous 3 days, again it was for a single day earlier. Now we are talking about 3 days, that we are assuming that the John's name is not picked for continuous 3 days. Now in this case, what happens, we'll use the same formula, that is 3 by 4 into 3 by 4 into 3 by 4 for continuous 3 days, which will come out to be 0.42, which is equal to 42%. Now if we are talking about the probability of John not picking for continuous 3 days, it will be 42%. Coming on to the third possibility, for example, if we are assuming that John's name is not picked for continuous 12 days. Now we started with the first day, we then move on to the third day, that we assume that John's name is not picked for the Thursday. Now what we are assuming that John's name is not picked for continuous 12 days. In this case, again, what will be the formula? Again, we need to calculate for 12 days. So 3 by 4 into 3 by 4 into 3 by 4, or you can say 3 by 4 into 12, which will comes out to be 3.1%. Now, as you can see, we have 3 different percentage for 3 different criteria or for 3 different scenarios. Then how come we'll come out with an output that whether John is cheating or whether John is not cheating? So in order to conclude any kind of decision or any kind of answer, any kind of solution, what we need to do, we need to set a threshold value. This is entirely decided by the data analyst who is going to perform the probability, or who is going to perform the hypothesis testing basically. So this threshold value depends upon the person who is taking this testing. In this case, we are assuming that threshold value will be equal to 5%, which is equal to 0.05. Now, when threshold value is 0.05, then we can say, if probability what we are getting, that probability is below the threshold value, then John is cheating. And if it is above the threshold value, then John is not cheating and he is simply lucky. Now what does it means? It means what probability we are getting? We are getting the probability as 3.1%. Okay, and the threshold value is 5%, means the probability we are getting is below the threshold value. 3.15% is obviously less than 5%. So in this case, as our probability which we are getting is less than the threshold value, that means John is cheating, and it is above and if it is above the threshold value, then John is not cheating. So if we are talking about this example, then in this case John is cheating. So what we assumed in the first part, or in this while starting the hypothesis testing, we assumed that John is not cheating, but what we are getting as John is cheating. So it is like which hypothesis we will be following. So in this case, we'll discuss what exactly two types of hypothesis is, and then I will show you, or then I will explain you what kind of hypothesis we are following. So basically, the thing which we need to consider in this particular example is the result, whatever result we are getting, that is not equal to the result we were assuming. Okay, what we assume that John is not cheating, and what we are getting is John is cheating. So it is exactly opposite to the concept, or to the assumption which we assumed in while starting the hypothesis. So basically, when we talk about the hypothesis students, so hypotheses are get classified into two categories. First is null hypothesis, and second is alternative hypothesis. When talking about null hypothesis, is basically null hypothesis is about proving our assumption, like whatever we assumed, and whatever result we are getting, that both the things are matching. So that is known as null hypothesis. And alternate hypothesis is exactly opposite. That is, whatever we assumed during the hypothesis and whatever result we are getting, that is not matching, and that is actually opposite to each other. So if we consider our same example of John, what we assume that John initially we assume that John is not cheating, and what we are getting that John is cheating. It is exactly opposite. So opposite results we are getting. So ultimately, what we are following, or what we are supporting in this particular example, we are supporting, or we are following alternate hypothesis, because the result we are getting is not approving or not supporting the assumptions which we made during the initial stages. So in this particular example, we are actually in this example of John probability, we are actually supporting the alternate hypothesis. And why we are supporting the alternate hypothesis? Because the results which we are getting are exactly opposite to the assumptions we made before starting the hypothesis. So students, I hope I'm clear with this concept. In our next class, we'll move and see further topics of this particular unit. Okay. Till then, take care.